I wanted to give you guys some information about what I've been telling you for the past few weeks. A few weeks ago, I started talking about why you should take your money out of the banks because they are not safe. I also, in my videos, I was keep mentioning to you guys, as a matter of fact, I made a post yesterday and I did talk to you guys about the fact that this is all by design. The Fed is going to crush the economy, and also they have a design that they wanted to monopolize the banking system. So there's going to be only 4 banks that they can control the entire US banking system. So it's ironically enough that I was watching Kitco. Kitco, I recommend all of you guys to watch it. Kitco is a financial news show, and ironically enough, there is this economist that now, those economists that are wise, that they are really understand what's going on, they are coming out one by one, and guess what they're saying? They're saying exactly what I was telling you guys for weeks. So on a Kitco a few days ago, there is this economist who went in front of Senate, as a matter of fact, and he testified about what is going on. His name is Edward Dowd. Now, Edward Dowd, he's an economist, and basically what he has told in Kitco is that the United States banking system within 2025, in other words, a matter of a couple of years, he's claiming that within 2025, you are going to have only 6 US banks. I said 4, he's saying 6. Now, let me explain to you, I did talk to you guys about the fact that why am I saying this? Because obviously this is the reason the Fed wants to crash the economy. Fed wants to take control, and the more control they have over people, the more powerful they get. Now, one thing that we have to understand, some people, they may think about it and say, why Fed would do all of this, crushing the banks? Well, you have to ask yourself. You see, in 2019, in September of 2019, United States banking system, it was about to crash. You know what Fed did without anybody knows? Fed injected billions of dollars every single day in a repo market so the bank, they can survive. Now, fast forward today, ask yourself, Federal Reserve knows everything. They control everything. They know everything. Why in the world, if this is not by design, they would allow the banks to collapse? Well, they could have very simply, just like in 2019, without anybody knowing, they could have gone to SVB, they could have gone to Signature Bank and any other bank, say, listen, you're about to get bankrupt. This is what we're going to do. We're going to lend you money. We're going to buy all your worthless mortgage-backed securities and bonds. We give you a loan for you to survive. But they didn't do that. You have to ask yourself why they didn't do that. Well, because the common sense is that they're looking for control. They want to make sure there are only 4 banks or 6 banks, according to Edward Dowd, so control the entire United States banking. But then again, he has a different point of view, and I wanted to share with you guys so understand what's going on. Edward Dowd, he says, the reason the Fed is doing all of this is because Fed wants to introduce CBDC. So what is CBDC? Central Bank Digital Coin. Now, as a matter of fact, Biden already signed it. They're already working on it. And what's going to happen is, you have to understand something. When there is the CBDC, introduce and people they start, using it. And he has a very interesting point. He says the only way the Fed can do all of this in the midst of a chaos. So when there is chaos, there is almost depression in the economy, they can introduce this new way of banking so people can use this, forget about it. It's much faster, it's much easier and everything else. So now he thinks that that's one of the reasons. It doesn't matter what he thinks. Bottom line, it's about the control. It's even get worse than that. Why? Because according to him, if they introduce the CBDC, they will control the entire human beings. In other words, it's their control. They give you a digital wallet. They tell you, you have X amount of digital coins. Go ahead and use it. Well, what if you do things, you say things that's against them? You know what they're going to do? They're going to delete the entire coins that you have. Now you are dead broke. Do you understand what's happening? It's all about control. This is nothing but controlling the population, controlling the world. Of course, more and more people now, they are going against the CBDC because they said this is completely, totalitarian. This is something that it's not going to work because people, they're going to uprise. You cannot, imagine right now we have credit cards, we have cash, we do whatever we have to do. Who the hell is government to come and control everything? We choose government, we choose, senators, we choose representatives to represent us. They work for us. Imagine what Fed is going to do is going to control us. You cannot have a freedom, period. It's all about control. Because if they do the CBDC, guess what? Any wrong movement, you're not going to have the money. You can't even survive. You will die. Do you understand what's happening right now? So when I was telling you guys about the control, this economist, Edward Dowd, he goes into details and he says, this is why. Because they want to control, and we need to go against it. Because we should not allow this to happen, because we are talking about freedom, our freedom. We are not going to have a freedom. Now, what other thing that he mentioned, he says that if that happened, there is going to be so many other ways of people doing, not necessarily only gold. He's talking about maybe Bitcoin. He's talking about maybe different other coins. But here's the problem. You see, that's what we need to understand. That's what I keep telling you guys. We need to educate ourselves. We need to follow. We need to understand what's going on. If CBDC gets introduced, we are screwed royally. We're going to lose everything that we work for. We're going to lose our freedom. We're going to lose everything that we were doing right now. So there is another problem with Bitcoin, is that just like in 1970s when they decided gold is illegal to have, you think they're not going to do it about the Bitcoin? Check this out. There is an article in Bitcoinist. It's an article. It says that check this out, US government holds more Bitcoin than MicroStrategy, Tesla combined. Do you understand what's happening? Our government, they hold more Bitcoin than anybody else. So what does this mean? It's all about monopoly. It's all about control. If the US government, tomorrow they decide Bitcoin is illegal, everybody who has Bitcoin, your wealth, it's going to go to zero. So it is important for us to understand that things are changing. I don't know. I don't know. I told you guys in the few years, we're going to have 4 banks. This guy, he's claiming that by 2025, we're going to have only 6 banks. And he says that, what's going to happen is they're going to go through the consolidation because the small banks, he also says the same thing. There's no way they can survive. It's impossible. So all these small banks, they're going to be gobbled up by the big banks. And then eventually you're going to have 6 banks. And then according to him, that's when they're going to introduce CBDC. That's where they're going to start using CBDC. And if we do that, we are royally screwed. So we need to be aware. We need to be prepared. We need to be intelligent about how we are going to do about this whole situation. Please make yourself informed, read, educate yourself, because all of us, we need to be together, because if this thing happen, okay, we are talking about our freedom, the most precious thing that we have. We will lose it. And central bankers will control our entire lives. Please make comments, share this post, let people know what's going on. It is very important. Look, in the past month and a half, I called 2 things that has happened, and I hate to say, I hope I am wrong, but it's keep happening. I called about banks, take your money out of the banks. 2 weeks later, the bank collapsed. I talked to you guys about we're going to have 4 banks. Now, economists, they're coming out, they're telling there's going to be only 6 banks in the matter of 2 years because they want to control. Be careful out there. Be aware, educate yourself, be alert, understand what's going on. As always, have a great week and good luck out there.